So this is a video tutorial for the motion capture class for fall 2010. What we're going to be doing here is we're going to be going through a little bit of dot capture protocol and a little bit of motion builder so that you guys have something to go for while I am away. Now what I've done here is I have processed at home a T-pose and several of the trials. Now I'm not going to show you how I did that. We'll do that when I come back. You guys already know how to process a T-pose, though. That's not difficult. But I do want to show you the T-pose that I processed. So this is from Zawadi, Williams, Murray. You will see this in your database when you open that up, but I wanted to show you what I have here and how I'm going to be doing this. So I'm going to spin this around a little bit. I'm going to turn off the force plates so they're not in the way. And I just want to show you, if I zoom in a bit, that this is indeed a T-pose, right? So it looks very nice. Anyway, there's nothing too exciting about the T-pose. You'll see that it is processed throughout. It's a fairly good T-pose. You'll notice that I processed from about frame 396 up until 551. If you wanted to process it for yourself, feel free. It was very easy. Almost did it automatically. So now, you'll see that I've processed some of the other ones here, including Robot 1, Kicks, Disco. And I'm going to just process, to show you here, Boxing 1. And based on what I did in the T-pose and how I calibrated it, and based on us having fairly good recordings, I'm going to try the automated tracking. So that's going to be this orange one up here where it says runs the reconstruct and label pipeline. So it's going to attempt to automatically label. And so as this goes here, you'll see the dots come into the screen, and as time goes on, you'll see that it'll fill in the dots and it'll attempt to label them. Okay, so as this finishes, I'm going to have a quick look at what it looks like. And there we go. Looks pretty good, right? So now what I've been finding on these in particular is that I'm getting a little bit of mix-ups on the toes and on some of the fingers. So if we look here, you'll see that this actually processed fairly well throughout. So, you know, I may only try to fix a few. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to split this screen here, and I'm going to change this to the graph, and I'm going to make sure that this is on trajectories, components, not count. I want this to be on components, and I'm going to bring this down just a bit because I want to check this dot right here. That should be our C7 dot, or top of the spine as it was called. So then, now that fills itself in fairly well. Let's go ahead and go with these dots as is. I'm not even going to bother filling them in. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to save the file. And then I'm just going to close Nexus out. Okay, so now I'm going to open up Motion Builder, and not 2010. You'll have both of them on your computer. We have 2011. We have a license for this, but we have a bit of a problem with the rooms not seeing each other through the networks. And so basically, I'm going to show you what to do when you open this up. This will be like this for temporary purposes, but eventually we'll get this license properly. So when this comes up, it's going to say blah, 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 your license is not activated yet. Just hit try for now. It's a full functional version, and that'll work for a month for us until I get the license straightened out. So then Motion Builder, as it opens up, I believe the 2011 version actually is aware of widescreen monitors, finally. It only took 10 years. So wait till this comes up. You can close the tutorial. You can always bring that back by going to the Help menu, and you'll see that there's a tutorial window, and then there's some little tutorials that come up. You can go through those if you feel the need, but what I'm going to show you right now is what you're going to focus on for this this course. Okay, so what I want you to do is go to the File menu and click Motion File Import. And our motion file is going to be, if you click Computer, you go to the C drive and go to Vicon and MA678, Fall 2010, Mocap Trials, Zawadi, Pop and Lock, and then you'll see that there's several of these processed, but the one we're interested in is the T-pose. Open up the T-pose and pick the defaults for right now. Just leave everything alone and say Import. And you'll notice that our dots get imported in to the scene. So now what I want to do is I want to change this view, and I want to change the viewer layout to 4 panes. So you can either push Control 4 or just change it this way. Now I'm also going to move some of these windows out of the way for right now because I'm not going to use these currently. I am going to use the asset browser right now. So I want to click on the characters little folder here within this tree, and I want to click on the actor, and I want to just left click on that and drag it up into this window and then let go of it, and then you'll notice that'll put the actor in our scene. Okay, so now I'm going to move this off to the side here, and I want to make this window a little bit bigger. Okay, so now I'm going to move this over just a bit, and so now this one, I'm going to be working in all these windows, so I want to use my orthographic views to get the actor lined up into Zawadi's dots. So click on the hips of the character, or you can find your window wherever that may have been. No, not that. Where did it go? Where did it go? You'll need this window. So if you can't find it, go to Creation, go to Animation, the layout, and what that'll do is it'll set you up with this. You need this character control window, and then I'm going to move these out of the way again. And so you can save layouts any way you like. I just want to have this a little bit bigger for what I'm doing here. And okay, so now the reason I wanted to have this is because you can click on different parts to select different things in the character control here. So now what I want to do is I'm going to move my character. This is your translate tool. So move, right? When you translate something, you move it around. So what I want to do is I want to move this kind of into where the dots are. And so that's looking pretty good. And I'm going to line this up over into here. And I don't know what's going on in this window. Why is this window? Let me try to refresh this window. View, viewer layout, single, view, viewer layout, 4. I do not know what happened here. Let's leave that alone for right now. We'll go with these views up here for right now. Okay, so this one over here is the one you're going to work with the most anyway. So what you want to do is you want to try to get the character lined up as best as possible inside of the dots. I shouldn't say the character because the character is not the right term. We're going to use the term actor for this gray character, this gray humanoid. We'll call it a humanoid. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to do a little bit of scaling here because Zawadi is a little thinner than the character is. So I'm just going to decrease some body part sizes and make it a little thinner so it's inside the dots a little bit. Right? We might have to make it a little thinner side to side. I'm actually going to control click on a couple body parts and bring that in a bit more. That's looking a little better. Okay, very good. Now, the legs appear to be lined up well. So what I want to do is I want to click on each leg and I want to actually rotate those in a little bit, right? So you'll see I want the heel to kind of line up. So I'm lining the heel up here. And now I want to click on this on the ankle and I want to kind of turn that out so it's in those dots you see there. Okay, that's looking good. Okay, good. So now I'm going to go back to this part and I want to do the same thing. I want to rotate that out just a bit